What's going on, people? So I picked up some shoes the other day, right? Because I needed to get some and all that stuff. Not for me, right? You'll see that in a second. And so, what is that? What is this? Oh, it's a parking thing. Yeah. So I put out a question to whoever looks at my post section, used to be called community section, saying, "Hey, like, we need to get some basketball shoes for this kid," blah blah blah. People really hung up on that kid aspect of that question. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. To me, kind of doesn't matter. Let me look at this receipt real quick before I forget. I ended up paying $95.39 for these. You can subtract $20 because I had a coupon, right? So they would have been 95 plus 20. Anyway, so yeah, to me, it's like, what's it even matter, Because if it's like a running shoe and someone asks me like my opinion of that, I'm basically going to just kind of give the same thing for anybody, right? Whether you're like a child, teenager, middle aged like myself, or whatever age I'm considered old, it's all going to be the same. Evo SL, right? Because it works for everybody. But I don't know. Either way, so down on the side there, right? Anthony Edwards one low. And this color is, what is this? Arc Knight. I don't know. I don't remember what that was called. Something Knight, Core Black, and I do remember the Screaming Green piece because when I saw that, it made me think of Judas Priest because they have that song "Screaming for Vengeance," and then I remembered that they were supposed to be coming around here soon, and I don't know if that has happened already, but I do remember I wanted to go to it, so I need to look that up after this. But anyway, so put the question out there. People responded with a handful of things, and I looked into each one. I truly did. Some of them, right off the top, they looked freaking stupid, right? And I was like, that's what that is? Because I've seen some of these things, right? Like these random Footlocker emails and stuff that I just delete, like because I see something and it's ugly and I just delete it. And so people were suggesting some of those things, which, and I get, you can be like an ugly shoe and still like be of some sort of value or whatever. But for me, I figured, no, if I'm buying these, I'm going to buy something that actually looks decent, in my opinion, and performs hopefully well because that was the whole question there. And I saw when I looked up these, this is the Anthony Edwards one. The person said AE1 low, and I was like, I don't even know what that means, right? I've never even heard of Anthony Edwards. I looked that up later. I'm still not sure exactly who he is, but I saw him in a commercial the other day. I'm like, hey, I know that name now. He's a basketball player, I can tell you that. But anyway, so I was looking at things, and it really came down to this and it's another Adidas thing, the Harden whatever whatever number they're on, the Harden something or other. And I did like those in a way, kind of. But the thing is, when I got to like the Dick's Sporting Goods, they had these in a couple colors, and not really the Hardens in any really real good color selection. They had this one that like that's not going to be the one to get. It was like this sky blue with some white and stuff. It looked cool, right? But it didn't seem like the kind of shoe that dude would want, right? Me and my cousin. So I was like, well, guess we're getting these. And so that's how this came to be. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Like I said, this right here, the Anthony Edwards one low from Adidas in something black and screen ink green, right? So there you go. Down on the bottom, right? This looks like one of those Yeezy shoes that I have. Which one? Who knows? A lot of them all kind of run together. So there's that, right? It's pretty decent. Looks like it should have some good traction and whatnot. So that's cool. Moving on up here, midsole and stuff, right? Can't really see a whole lot there because it kind of has this like outer shell sort of thing going on, right? But from what I'm told, based on the Adidas webpage, in here is Boost, right? Which is a good thing. I'm a fan of it. And then I guess on the bottom they have Light Strike. Did it say that on there? No, I don't. Well, you see the Boost thing there, so you can kind of tell that it's on the inside, but I don't see any of the Light Strike logos and stuff. It just says Light Boost. Either way, and so then as far as like the rest of the upper goes, this part on a lot of the other ones from the pictures was 3M. I don't know if it's the same here. And then this piece, it's all this big plastic thing, but behind there, it's got the mesh. So it's kind of like a vent, that goes all around. So I'm guessing these will be pretty breathable. And even looking at these now, I can see like straight through these things. So that's pretty cool. Didn't really notice that before. So yeah, it looks like it should feel pretty good, right? And then on the back end, you got this big old logo back there. And this looks kind of like the carbon fiber thing that you see on like Jordan 11s. But I don't, I don't think that it is. It just kind of has that same sort of look to me. It's got like the squares. But it looks cool. I like that. Jumping back over to the front here, laces, big, thick, ropey style laces like you have on. Again, I'll bring up the Yeezy 350, I guess, which I can see there being some similarities because it is an Adidas creation, both of those things. As far as the tongue goes, down there, like it looks like some kind of like nylon neoprene type of thing going on in the middle here. As far as the outside, that I'm not sure what that is, but it feels nice and soft. It feels like some mesh just laid down on something that's a little stiff, but just enough to kind of hold it in place and all that stuff. So seems pretty nice. And then what's going on the inside? I can't tell what that says. It says something in there, or maybe it's just designs. I don't really know. But it's got a cool look to it, and that's pretty all right. One other thing I'll bring up now because I'm looking at them, and this is probably my one shot to talk about. They do come with an extra pair of laces. When I saw them at the store, the green pair in them, I think. So I don't know if that was like a return or something, but after somebody had already like relaced it. But that's what's going on. And I was just fixing the laces on these shoes because I didn't like the way they looked. Yeah, so it's just kind of one of those things. But either way, so yeah, these overall are looking actually like pretty decent. They had a lot of colors and all that good stuff. So I was cool with that. I like to have options. But largely, when I was looking at the shoes, like I said, there was like maybe six or whatever altogether that people had suggested, and half of them were just no right off the top, and then there were the other half, right? Which again, these two, well, the these and the Ardens. There was something else that somebody, like the first person who responded, as asked about or not asked, but told me about I can't remember what brand it was. It was some brand that I've never used or heard of before, whatever. But those actually seemed like they could have been pretty decent, but it ended up being these. So, I'm going to go with something that I know in Adidas long before the ASICS endeavor that I've dug so deep into in the last couple of years. Adidas was like my thing. Sure, like Nike did get me started and all this stuff, sure, but it was the Adidas stuff that actually got me interested initially. So yeah, kind of a soft spot for them. So that's kind of why we are where we are. But yeah, I think these should work out all right. I mean, according to like the star count, or whatever, on the Adidas page, a lot of people seem to like these, so it should work out all right. They say that they're a true to size thing or whatever. Well, it said perfect sizing, so that's how I took that. Now, dude wears a 13, and I understand that at that point, shoe sizing can get a little weird as far as like availability goes. So I'm gonna send him the receipt with these, and if things get weird, he can just go on to the store and exchange them for a different size or maybe a different color too, depending on how things play out. So that's what's going on from there. Yeah, I won't be doing an actual review of these like a normal one, like I sit down and get all the nice shots and stuff, because I don't know anything about these, and I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I do. I mean, like for what? Right? So I can look cool in front of like a couple dozen people that I'll never actually meet. I don't think I have time in my day for that. So no, and like there just wouldn't really be anything in it for me personally, like because when I do these like researching endeavors on the running shoes and stuff, like I have something to compare that to, and I can use that like past experience or whatever when I talk about the things in reviews. This, I got nothing to say about these. And whatever I learn about them would just be whatever I learn about them and would likely be forgotten relatively quickly. But anyway, so yeah, that's these. This will be the box that came in. I've got that, which is the same logo that I saw on the inside. I showed you that spot already. That and that kind of looks like the bottom of the shoe with those little slits and stuff. And it is like a pretty nice box, like a little slide out thing. So presentation wise, I'm cool with these. Like for $110, yeah, this is pretty decent. We'll see how they hold up though. I mean, again, like me sitting here and just kind of going over what I think of them means really nothing. I got to get these over to my cousin so that he can run around and play basketball in them, and hopefully they work out all right. But if they don't, they don't. And it's not like he didn't ask for these shoes or whatever, but he did have to mention that he needs new basketball shoes and blah blah blah. Like college students don't make a whole lot of money for the most part. Like they're busy doing college stuff and all that. So I figure, what, I'll just pick up something, send it on over, and we'll see how it plays out. So that's how that's going to go. I'll probably get some sort of results on that maybe like next week, I guess, if I can get these out this week, get them this week, and then maybe you'll be able to try them out over the next couple of days, and I'll see how that went. Like I said, hopefully next week. So from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. That is the Anthony Edwards One Low, and I don't have anything else to say, so I'm leaving. Also, I will throw this out there. Today I saw what's that movie called? Bring Her Back. It's very weird, but I was entertained by it. It's a little disgusting at some points though, but hey, it is what it is. So now I'm done. All right, later people.